Okay, what we're going to be doing today is I've recorded and posted the two 32 Fear Max HP runs and the two different ways I like to go about doing it. Like as I explained in the videos, the two ways, basically one way you start with using Zeus and you just try and use Zeus as your damage, and then you get three other defensive gods. And the other way to do it is to grab Hestia and then use three other defensive gods. I'm going to explain. First, I'll go over what you want to use as far as the boons from Zeus and Hestia go. So let's get into that here real quick. Okay, so we'll start off with Zeus. Ideally, when you're in Supe, what you want is to get the heaven flourish. But if you open it up and you don't have heaven flourish or heaven strike at a decent rarity, but you have Thunder Rush at like rare or epic, then you can just go ahead and take Thunder Rush and use that as your damage for the really early on. And then when you get into the next zone, you just make sure a couple doors roll over to Zeus, and you get either the Thunder Strike, or sorry, the Heaven Flourish or the Heaven Strike. It's easier to apply the Blitz to lots of people with the special, so that's slightly better, but it works pretty good now with the attack too. And then from that point on, with him, the boons you're going to want are Static Shock, Double Strike. Those are the two most important ones. And then as you get into the later game, Air Quality can become really, really good. If you don't think you're going to end up getting Air Quality, you can take Electric Overload. But the duo boons that are good with him, so the gods you're going to have when you have Zeus, as far as getting duo boons with, you could have Poseidon, so Killer Current is good. It just makes it so everyone that you frothed with your, most likely you'll have the cast. But let's say you have Zeus attack, and then you take the special, and you get froth, and you're frothing lots of people. Then Killer Current becomes really good. Hailstorm is super good with, especially if you can double up on Demeter. You just get Demeter cast and Demeter special with the Zeus attack, and then it becomes actually almost more of your DPS than the Blitz can be sometimes, because you're specialing everybody. Like I did that in the first video, and you're dropping the cast, and they're all getting hit by lightning, which you're double striking. And then if you have the Zeus Rush boon with that, like I did, you just so many lightning bolts, and if you get success rate on top of that with the double strike with all those lightning bolts, you can just like melt rooms. There's a chance you could end up having Apollo, but Prominence Flare's you're not really a cast build, so Romantic Spark is the most important duo boon. It's really good. It's just basically it doubles your blitz damage and makes it pop way faster. So actually it can more than double your blitz damage if you're good at just like applying it and dashing through or sprinting through and just over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just a really good way to deal damage to bosses and clear rooms fast. With this build, you probably shouldn't ever have Hestia and Zeus at the same time. That is a good ability if you do though, but Master Conductor you'll end up having a lot because you can end up taking out of the core boons for Hephaestus, the ones you could end up with are Anvil Ring or Tough Gain. Tough Gain I end up taking quite a bit. Especially if you get like a negative, like an epic Tough Gain is good. It's pretty okay mana regen, and it gives you -3 damage off of every hit, which is pretty sweet when you have 1 billion hit points. Let me see here. And Heinous Affront is just you don't want to take. It's a really good boon. If you're doing a lower fear, like if you're doing a lower fear than you're used to, and you just want to get Heinous Affront and have fun running, that's really super strong. So those are the different ways you can play. So you can play Zeus. Now as far as let's back up and go see Hestia. You either want the Flourish or the Smoldering, and you definitely want Heat Rush. If you want to use your Rarify on Heat Rush as much as you probably can, it's just so good. If you can get a Heroic Heat Rush, it's super good. You just melt rooms. But, I mean, Heroic Smoldering or Flame Flourish is super good too. The Strike's not that great. I wouldn't take it. You're just not going to get you're not going to get it to go on enough people. As far as the cardio gain is an okay mana regen for for these builds. Highly flammable, especially at higher rarity, is super good boon. Glowing, I enjoy glowing coal. Just especially since I seem to get it at epic a lot. I don't know why. Flash fry, super good for room clear, especially at rare or higher. Hot pot. Actually, if you can get hot pot at a higher rarity, you saw if you watched my Hestia run this time, I got a 8% hot pot, I think, and the double that, so I had 16% dodge from her, and then like I had the boon with Hermes where you get the speed in the dodge too, and then I also had his cast, so for Apollo, so I had days, so I was just able to get a lot of dodge and a lot of misses. Pyrotechnique is good. Snuffed Candle is good. For the Wids, Slow Cooker is really good. This is really good if you went with the cast. Like, so much stuff is good for Hestia. There's almost nothing you don't want to take, honestly. Scalding Vapor is really good. Especially if you're going like cast build with if you have the cast, with Poseidon, and you just get so much extra damage. Freezer Burn. So if you already have Freezer Burn, don't take Pyrotechnique. But if you have Pyrotechnique, you can take Freezer Burn because it's an upgrade. But Pyrotechnique doesn't do anything when you have Freezer Burn. Warm Breeze. This was really good when I had Apollo too. So you have the healing from Apollo, the dodge, and the speed and the barriers from Hermes and the dodge from Hermes. Like, plus this, I was just getting so much healing from it. I was just proccing multiple times per room. This is really good when you have Aphrodite. If you're going to go this route, don't even bother getting the Scorch, the Freezer Burn from Demeter, because you just don't want to. You just want to take Pyrotechnique and then just get a ton of burn on there and have it just the Pyrotechnique deal the damage twice as fast or sometimes even more. That's super good. You can end up having Chain Reaction, which is you probably not. There's a chance. Sometimes you can get a rare Volcanic Strike. You'll take Volcanic Strike, and then if you have the Flourish with Hestia here, it's not a bad ability. It's just I'm not super good at triggering it all the time. So like that, those are the things you want to go for with Hestia. So pretty much all of it. You just want as many Hestia boons as possible, especially if you can get Slow Cooker. Super good. All right, here. So the defensive gods, the most important defensive god, in my opinion, Aphrodite. You can end up, depending on how your build is going, sometimes take Flutter Flourish or Rapture Ring, but it never really is my goal. Passion Rush will do in a pinch too, but where you want Glamour Gain. Glamour Gain first. Secondly, you want Rapture Ring. If you don't get Glamour Gain, you just want to have like a really good applier of weakness. Now, if you get, the cool thing is if you can get Glamour Gain plus this Duo Boon right here, you'll get 15% damage resistance to the entire room, and it'll make her apply weakness on the entire room. And then what that'll do for you is that if you can get Nervous Wreck, her legendary, like you literally just are putting four curses on everyone in the room instantaneously whenever you go into a room. Wispy Wiles, if you're going for her legendary, like if you're taking her as your main secondary god for defense, go for Wispy Wiles for sure, because there's not even like a 3-point Wispy Wiles is 9% dodge, which is fine. But if you can get like a 30% Wispy Wiles, you're just gonna feel super safe all the time. Let's see here. What are her boons? She doesn't have as many boons that I want to take in this build. Shameless Attitude, they nerfed it into the ground. Unless you get like a epic one, I don't bother. Spiritual Affirmation, this is my favorite boon of her. You get Spiritual Affirmation. But the only reason you would... Okay, so there's one reason to take Shameless Attitude. Because then it lets you get Healthy Rebound, which is super good. But Spiritual Affirmation works really good with Hephaestus, works really good with just taking all the max magic and max hit points. If you get Buried Treasure, like especially like an epic Buried Treasure off Poseidon early, then you just buy every single max HP, max hit point, max magic points you can get, and then you have Spiritual Affirmation on like 25% epic. You will just have 500 hit points really easily, maybe more. These are fine, like the Broken Resolve, Sweet Surrender. Heartbreaker's fine because like basically I think you just pop your special and then You have a heartthrob. It's pretty good. Don't. I never take no Secret Crush. It's not worth the prime on this. Romantic Spark, as we talked about, is super good. We never try to get Hera, so Island Getaway is good. Party Appetite. It can be really, really super good. Obviously, we get a lot of life. I know this is supposedly bugged, but you can still end up with like an extra 40-50% damage with like 400 or 500 hit points. If it's not bugged, you can end up with like an extra 100-150% depending on what you're doing. Heartthrobs is good if you end up with Apollo. Burning Desire is a super good ability to have, especially if you're just going Pyrotechnique with your Hestia damage pool. And Love Handles is good, but you're not probably going to have any of those Hephaestus boons. They don't really help you that much. So those are the things you really want to look for. Like you want, like I said, you want Glamour Gain and you want Spiritual Affirmation. If you can get Healthy Rebound at like Epic, so that like if you're leaving your room above 60%, it just full heals you. You can just coast all the way to the last boss. Basically, it's super easy. Let's see here. Second best defensive god is Hephaestus. You, generally speaking, don't take any of this. You can take his Anvil Ring, especially if you get it at like Epic or higher. Smithy Rush is terrible, especially since you want a good Rush boon on this. You basically, the only Rush boons you take are Hestia, Poseidon, or Zeus. Those are the only ones I recommend taking. Tough Gain here, especially if you can get it at a higher rarity, is super good. I mean, the mana regen is always good, so you can take it at common. It's fine. It's going to give you the mana regen you want, still prevent 1 damage, which is whatever. But yeah. So Grand Caldera, you only want that if you can take Molten Rush if you think, just if you get it early before you get to Olympus, that you just do extra damage to the all the armored stuff that you run into there. Heavy Metal's fine, especially if you can get it at a higher rarity and just try to hang on to the armor for a while. Trusty Shield is super good, just gives you an extra hit per zone basically. Security System at rare or better is really good. 75 armor is fine, but you want more. This is the boon you really want to get, especially if you can get it at Epic. I think it's 30 or 35% of your mana, but you can get like a ton of mana. It just adds on to your hit points. It's super, super good. Martial Arts, we do all of our damage with our attack and special, so Martial Arts definitely good if you get a bunch of rock. This is good. It just makes Supei do more damage with the Rush boon, I believe, now, if I remember correctly. We never have Hera, so don't worry about that. Master Conduct, like I said, with Zeus is super good. Seismic Hammer. This is awesome. If you get Tidal Ring and Geyser Spout, then you just take, and you just happen to take his strike or whatever, you can get a gigantic bonus onto your cast, and you just use Winner's Circle and just go around. If you have a Geyser Spout and that, you're just dropping 1,000 damage without even critting. Dropping 1,000 damage on everyone that's there. It's really gross. This you could end up having. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You get a bonus blast damage. You're not going for blast damage unless you're doing the one I just said. But then that's a weird god pool. You probably wouldn't have that god pool. Let's see here. This you can get quite often. If you like I said, if you end up taking one of his blasts, which we don't usually, so you see, there's not a lot of duo boons that you end up getting with him. You can so let's see here, Master Conductor, because you can get it with Tough Gain. Yeah, that's basically the only one you're going to get regularly. So, but like I said, you want a bunch of his defensive stuff, and the martial arts good too. But Uncanny Fortitude, Security System, Trusty Shield, all super important, and Tough Gain's good. So those are boons you look for from him. Next defensive god we might take is Poseidon. Well, no, probably Demeter actually. Sorry, Demeter's the next best one. Her Strike or her Flourish are both good, but her Arctic Ring is really her best defensive tool. If you're not already, if you let's say you took Festus, or sorry, you already have Hestia, and you're using her Flourish, you just grab Arctic Ring. The attack's fine too. But the reason then you can just go into the Freezer Burn stuff. If you're trying to get Freezer Burn, honestly, it's better to have the Strike. It's easier to proc the Freezer Burn because Arctic Ring, you just want to throw that at every time you're engaging, so nothing will be scorched yet. But with the attack, you can You can just scorch stuff with your flourish, and then I strike it automatically, and you just get that to pop. It's pretty sweet. Tranquil Gain is you don't stand still, so in this build it's not really good. Plentiful Forage is good, especially if you can get like epic, get like 14%. Steady Growth in the first few chambers, if you can get this at rare or better, you take it. If not, don't worry about it. Snow Queen. The prime, how much magic you prime depends on how. I think you just prime less magic. The rare it is. I think at like epic you prime only 10 magic or something. Then you just stop. It's good. You get one. You don't do any epic. You don't do any omega attacking. You rarely are doing omega casting. Cold Storage is good with the Arctic Ring, just more defense. Frosty Veneer is amazing if you have 6 water. Like if you have Poseidon and Demeter and you end up with 6 water, super good. Hailstorm is super good if you're using Zeus for defense. Whenever we don't take Hestia, I get this pretty much every time because it just gives you now. I think it's way better. People complain about it because it doesn't do. You don't. It's not flashy. You don't really notice it unless you're just like paying a close attention to your damage. But if you just think about it, 8 boons, or not boons, 8 palms on your core boons is absurd. If someone said like, all you have to do is take this one boon here that got offered you, and you get 8 palms on your boons, you're like, yeah, I'll do that. But since it's a duo, you're like, oh, I don't want to. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. Tropical Cyclone you can end up with in weird situations, which it's good. You take it if it's offered. Hardy Appetite, which you should be able to get quite often. Super good, as we said earlier. Freezer Burn good. Room temperature doesn't really matter for this build. So yeah, that's the stuff you want for Demeter. And the last, well, no, okay, we got 2 more gods here. We have Poseidon. So the only time I never take his strike on this build. This doesn't. You want to be doing this. You want to be attacking rapidly. That you're not going to attack rapidly to use his strike with this. So Wave Flourish, especially when you get it at epic or higher, is super good. I mean, it's fine. It's fine at rare or even common, I guess. But Tidal Ring at more rarity is really good. Breaker Rush. Honestly, it's probably the best rush boon, but I find it to be not really that fun to use because, like, I don't know, you can't just sprint through everybody, and it stops you and knocks them away from you, and then you gotta re-sprint. And I find that to be, even though you can do a ton of damage, because this thing can do like 200 damage or something at heroic, or maybe more. I'm not even sure. Plus, it gets buffed from Supé, but and then you can get water. Yeah, I'll show you. You can get Beach Ball. But Flood Gain is a fine mana regen for him. Hydraulic Might's really good, especially if you can get Hydraulic Might and security systems or whatever on Hephaestus. Then you basically have like 10 seconds of just wiping the room out without taking any damage, and you can just go around and kill everything. Buried Treasure early is super good to allow you just to buy tons of healing and hit points and magic point maxes. High Surf, if you get High Surf offered to you at epic or higher, just take it. You're still priming 30 mana, but you're doing 80 damage anytime anything gets near you. So Sea Star, probably just ignore it. You want Slippery Slope if you take the special. Geyser Spout, if you see Geyser Spout, you can take it, especially if you have Winter Circle. But I don't really look for it in this. This is not a cast build, so Water Fitness is the most important thing. So I really like to pair, like, you can get water from Aphrodite and Demeter too. So if you got those 3 gods together as your 3 defensive gods, you can just get like 150 or more hit points from Water Fitness. And then you have Hephaestus and or Aphrodite that makes it bigger because of their abilities. This is not something you're normally going to try to grab, but if you just happen to like Luxac your way into this, it's really good with the special. Killer Current is really good if you're taking the cast or the special and frothing things. Then you can just do more damage with all your lightning stuff. It's fine. Like I said, this is really good. A natural selection. So yeah, you just Beach Ball. If you're going the route of Apollo with him, then yeah, you just want to go. You just want to go Breaker Rush. And the rest of the boons there, whatever you end up taking from the other stuff. Solar Ring plus like Wave Flourish is not a bad combination. Or Solar Ring plus Flood Gain. Tidal Ring plus Flood Gain. Hopefully that doesn't work. But you know what I mean. Just whatever you get combination to get. Beach Ball will do so much damage with the Supé buff plus all your extra global buffs, and then like if you can crit for like 1500 damage with it or something like that. It's absurd. Island Getaway is really good with just for more damage prevention and to make her glamour gain hit everything. Scalding Vapor is super good. He has a lot. Seismic Hammer is super good. Like all of his duo boons are things that you want. They're the ones that come with the gods that we get. So like I try to always have Poseidon when I do this, but he's not key, but he does fit in super well. I mean, like the build that gets you the most hit points is if you have Hephaestus, Aphrodite, and then him, and you just take all the HP boons and just get like 500-600 hit points. And you're just so safe, and you just get with that combination of things. You either want to get Romantic Spark, Zeus, or get Pyrotechnique and the Infinite Scorch with Aphrodite. Then you're good to go. And then the last god you can consider for defensive purposes is Apollo. You're not going to want his Flourish or his Strike. His Solar Ring is really good because it just applies daze to everything. His Blinding Rush is really good, but it doesn't do any damage. So the only time you could take it is like Blinding Rush, and then when you have, if you're going to just put Beach Ball on it with because then you just split faster and you can just do Beach Ball more, so it's fine. And then you're putting daze on stuff, so it's actually not bad. You can take that, but only if you're going to have Poseidon and you're going for Beach Ball. Lucid Gain, we don't stand in our cast that much. Light Smite is not. It's always okay to take. As just if you see an epic Light Smite, just grab it because you're gonna do like 150 damage, I think, to everyone in the room anytime you get hit, which is just amazing. Perfect Image is fine. It's extra damage. It's not great though. Dazzling, you don't want that. I don't take Backburner. Don't take Prominence Flare. Supernova is fine. You don't really want a lot from him, but you do want his self-healing and his cast if you end up having to play him. And that's about that. Beach Ball, like I said, if you end up going that route, you can go Beach Ball. That's really good. But yeah, like self-healing and his cast just will provide you actually a lot of safety. So he's fine as your fourth god. Like if you have to. You don't wait to pick your fourth god up hoping you get somebody better. If you see him and you have three other gods you like if you're just like skating through and you have a Hestia, Demeter, Aphrodite or something like that, go ahead and just take him. It's fine. It's not going to hurt anything, especially if you have Poseidon already, because then you can go for Beach Ball maybe, which is just gross. So, but yeah, let's see. There's a couple other things too I wanted to point out. Let's see. Dionysus. So he actually has a bunch of things. If you think your damage isn't going good and you see an epic tipsy shot, it does like 600 damage. Just go ahead and take it. Worry Free at epic is super good. It's like 120 hit points, between 80 and 120. If you're like OCD, or not OCD, but like if it gives you anxiety not being able to see your hit points, don't take it, because it's not worth like giving yourself anxiety to try and just to give yourself more hit points. But I almost always take Worry Free at rare or higher. I don't really care about. I know I'm pretty safe, especially if my defense is in order. I know that it just gives me even more safety. I don't have to look at my hit points. It's fine. Drunken Stupor at epic is, or even rare, I guess, is fine. It does a lot of damage though. If you're just like popping your Omega Special and then have that on epic, you're just gonna like, it'll help you Shrek rooms, and it does a pretty good burst against bosses. If you get Bounce Back at a higher rarity, then you're safe from that point on, because like you're just always gonna have a billion. Your life's never gonna drop below like 75%. I don't take any of the rest of the stuff. Yeah, but like those are the ones you want off of him. Athena, what you definitely want from her is if you're going Poseidon Dash, you want Divine Dash, because you're just gonna be dashing all the time and it's gonna help you. But other than that, what you actually want is Task Force. You're going to be trying to get all of the gods that you want to have in your pool with this, other than Apollo, all have really, really good god syntaxes. So you're just going to you just want to get, you can even force it, that way those things come out epic. You get an epic, it gives you +3 uses of your god syntax, and if you're on Hestia or Hestia or Aphrodite, it just makes it seem like you can just 5 times hit the boss with either of those Gauntlet hexes, which just melt them so fast. You can't even use them 5 times because you're just gonna kill the boss first. But yeah, basically that's it. That's the way that I go about building this, for these runs. Those are the boons you want. Not that hard to get everything I just showed you. Obviously you're not always going to get the duo boons or a legendary that you're hoping for, and that's fine because you're just going to take so many hit points and you're just going to be applying Blitz and or Scorch and just moving around and keep reapplying Blitz and Scorch and moving and keep reapplying and healing. That's the best way to win. You're not in a rush. You're just trying to pick up that 32 fear win or 20 fear, or whatever you're struggling with, and comes out super safe. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more content on this channel. I'm going to be doing some different roguelikes than Hades. I'm still going to do 1 or 2 at least Hades videos a week. It's my favorite game. I'm going to eventually probably do some Hades 1 stuff once I feel like going back to that. The next game I'm going to be covering, though, as far as extensively, is Hellclock. And I'm also going to be dropping in some Brotato and Soulstone Survivors videos, because those are games I'm kind of enjoying right now too. So yeah, drop a like or subscribe below. Have a good day.